Hello again. This is the second video in a series introducing the shell function as the focal point of learning how to program in the shell. See the first video to write your first functions and learn the rationale of why we learn the bash shell from the functional view. Also, you want to consult the YouTube comment section for these videos where links to online documents track these videos, supply references, and give some idea of future direction. This exercise picks up where the first left off, so we assume you have a few functions, namely hello and lstext at this point. If not, visit the first video and follow the exercise to reclaim those functions. And pardon the abrupt termination in that video, I'm preparing these better to hold to the commitment of 6-minute sessions. In this session, we'll write our first generally useful function, how to view functions on the command line, and without necessary reference to the editor. Let's get started. General, clear the screen and see what the first step is. Let's review the last step in the prior exercise. Declare minus FLS text. If you remember, let's just do that. And that displays the function and its body, lstxt. There is the lstext function, which is displayed for us in what we call the canonical format. We'll turn this into a function. While you might be tempted to try an alias, the lessons offered by functional programming outweigh the apparent simplicity of an alias. Functions are extensible, if anything. So to take a step, fbdy is the name of our chosen name of our function, suggesting a function body. fbdy parens, and the text that we just previously used, declare minus f $1, where we see our first positional parameter. The way that the function works is to substitute the command line arguments that we supply with in the place of the positional parameters. So how do we test this? We say fbdy hello, and we see that I've misspelled declare. D-E-C-L-A-R-E. Okay, thank you for catching that. And so there is fbdy hello world. That's the function in the canonical definition form again. Okay, so let's try it with a second argument, the other function, and we see that only the first argument function appears. Okay, hello is $1. lstext wasn't available to us. Well, here's how we fix that. The $* substitutes all the space-separated arguments. A $@ sign is somewhat akin, but protects arguments with spaces in them. It's too fine a point for the moment and well covered in the references. Now we can expand the list of arguments. Well, let's see, I'm not so sure I got that definition in there, so let's fix the definition that we had, okay, and see what's next. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, lstext fbdy. We now have 3 arguments, okay, and we see 1, 2, 3 functions with bodies. Notice that fbdy as the third argument suggests that convenient default might be fbdy itself. Functions which expect functions with arguments may supply convenient default. This is most useful to remind yourself of the function's behavior. While the learning curve for fbdy is quite low, for others, a hint of usage of itself is the best tutorial. We'll later learn to supply a different action in light of no arguments where one or more are required. So finally, the definition, using a piece of the syntax again to supply a default, curly brace, colon minus or colon dash, in this case fbdy is the default we want, namely the function itself, could have been anything. Okay, oh there it is, there's what we were to type. And how are we to use that? We just say fbdy, and notice the function comes back again in the canonical format with no arguments. fbdy is substituted as the default argument. And one more time, what about What about multiple arguments? fbdy, hello, lstxt, fbdy, b, and if we don't spell them right, we won't see them. There it is. It does as expected. Also notice in this case, fbdy must be explicitly supplied. If it's not, you don't see it. The default only works in the case of no arguments. In the next exercise, we'll explore function return types, namely character strings, numbers, and Boolean. Thank you for staying with us.